Well, my name is Charles West, and I live in very northeast corner, Missouri, running for Missouri U.S. House District 6 seat that's been held by Sam Graves for over 21 years now. Lived here, born and raised here in northeast Missouri, so been here my entire life. What I do for a job, I've been doing the same thing for about 20 years myself. I work for a company called French Grumman Electric, Agilic Solutions. What I do, I specialize in automation and construction materials. So anything that deals with anything with automation, electrical, lighting, wiring, anything at all that goes in any kind of building projects, any kind of factories, construction, anything at all, we kind of specialize in everything. So jack of all trades kind of thing. I'm an account manager, so I'm out and about every single day talking to people face to face. So that's more or less what I do for a living.
All right. Well, that brings me to exactly what I want to talk about. So you're running because you're a Democrat, clearly, or else.
Yes.
Not that I wouldn't be talking to a Republican, because my first podcast that's going to run next month is there's like a conservative radio talk show host that I met through TikTok. And we have a very lively discussion. We come from total as up, as you can imagine, but we have quite pleasant conversations, and far be it from me to try to find common ground with someone that's a fucking lunatic.
I hear you.
But he's a good guy, and he has different political views, and where we find ways to communicate, it's good. Anyway, when it airs, I'll let you know. I feel like the Democrats are way too non-aggressive enough to take down the beasts of burden. All right. Exactly. And I know that because A, you're working, and B, you're coming into the marketplace, and C, you probably can't come off in your hometown as like a big old bully bitch, right?
Yep.
So you have to kind of play politics to get you even onto the ballot, to get. When is your primary?
It'll be August of next year. So August of 2020.
Oh, so you have time.
Yeah. So I decided to start ahead this year.
No. But the thing is, so here's what I think, and I'm telling everyone that I'm going to be talking to, because I want to try to talk to as many down ballot races as possible as I launch this podcast going forward. This is like knockdown, drag out fight time. This is like, but rather than just be like just a bitch, just to be a bitch, I think especially knowing what you do for a living, what I would suggest is the best way for you to campaign in your area, because all politics is local at the end of the day. You can't go pick a bone with somebody in New York, because it's just going to go over all your future constituents' heads.
Yeah.
But we passed the infrastructure bill, and you're in that business. You have got to do every appearance you do, every rally, every even handshaking has to be at a site where there's jobs.
Yes.
You have to be, because I listened, the thing is that I know you have to answer all these kind of vague general questions, and you want women's rights, and you want a thing, and you want healthcare. And at this point, all you need to think about is jobs.
Exactly.
Now, that's your topic number one. If people ask you about whatever, you have to figure out how to turn it back to where there's a job in that healthcare, whatever. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Because I really believe, especially in the redder states, that's the only way you're going to be able to crack the ice of their GOP kind of bullshit foundation that they're still,
Especially just with, like Sam Graves, he voted against every single thing that's ever been put out for infrastructure. And he's a ranking member on the Transportation Infrastructure Committee. But yet he bitches every time there's something that comes out about infrastructure. Well, what's funny is he voted against the plan. He voted against the bill. But yet here last week, he went over to over by St. Joe and had a meeting with all kinds of people from MoDOT and things like that about all this money going to be coming in the state and how he did all this work to get all this money in. He didn't do jack shit. And
I figure, but that's going to be the MO across the country with the Republicans.
Yep.
So
Yep.
you have to scream from the top of your lungs. You have to put out flyers. You have to remind people he voted no. This is your industry. You know what I mean? If you can't make the case that you're the only guy to help usher, like you need to go to the department, to the even like the business community of your town and find out, because that money is going to start getting allocated. Like you have to do, if there's ribbon cuttings, you need to be there. If you're standing on the bridge that you know is broken and say, yeah, we got the money, I'm going to fix this. You have to be that way. And for you especially, it's so fitting to your story that, you know, it's like, I'm getting behind Marcus Flowers in the Marjorie Green District, you know, and again, he was not only a veteran, which is his big story, you know, but he does what you did in the military. He oversaw the construction of all these sites when the Army would have to go into like Afghanistan, and you know what I mean? So like, the guys that are running needs to be the job guys. You have to, because it's butch, it's gruff, it's what you need, those horrible Republican men to soften up to your story. I know I'm going to go on and on about this, but the thing is, it's like I almost don't even want to ask you about your position on women's rights because I already know, you know, not because I know from having seen you. It's like you're a Democrat. Of course, your heart's in the right place.
Yeah. Yeah. And I tell you what's funny is you remind me of me a lot, especially when I watch your videos. The way you speak and the way you go after people reminds me a lot of myself, because I'm one of those people, just like you said, the Democrats have been too soft. I'm tired of us going high where everybody else goes low. We've been doing that for too long and it's not getting us anywhere. And I'm the kind of person, I'll speak out on anything. And I don't care who I'm going after. I will go after the jugular every single time, because that's what you're going to have to do. If we're going to win anything, that's what we're going to have to do. We're going to have to go for the jugular every time and call out every single damn thing these people do that's wrong. And not just wrong for the people in our community, but people all across the district, all across the state, all across the country. And just like you was talking about with the jobs, I'm going after that harder in hell right now, because he voted against every damn thing that goes on, but yet goes out and says he did it. He didn't do jack, and he hasn't done anything for over 20 years. And that's why I said, I'm going to go for the jugular every time. And that's what I'm going to keep doing, is going for the jugular to make sure people know I'm there to fight. And I'm not going to quit fighting until I get something done right.
You should find out who is, I'm sure it's easy enough to just go to that website. They have it. Who finances him, you know, even get people to protest these local companies. You just have to really kick up dust.
Yep.
You do. So there are a lot of people running with you, and where does that stand right now?
There's another person. There's a gentleman that's actually running. He's ran 2 times before. He's running again this time as well. So far it's just me and him, but we won't know until February when actually filing date is. Last year, we knew there's going to be at least 3 of us running in February of last year. That's the first time I ran. I knew I wasn't going to win, but my main goal was to get out there and start getting my name out there, name recognition. Well, we knew there's going to be 3 of us. Well, there ended up being 5 of us that ran. And what's funny, this district is immense. I mean, it's 36 counties. It's bigger than 9 states. This district is. It's huge.
Right.
A full-time job. Plus, I'm literally traveling this entire district all the time. So it's 4 hours for me to go from where I live over to the other side of the state. So it's 4 hours. So, but me, I'm carrying a full-time job and traveling constantly. So far in the last 2 months, I've been across all 36 counties 18 times in 2 months. Right. Well, last year, what's funny is one person is running dropped out in May. Didn't have to do any fundraising or anything. So dropped out. They took her off the ballot. 1 week later, they put her back on the ballot, and they put her up on top of the ballot again, even though she dropped out. So I called Secretary of State's office and said, what the hell's going on? I said, she dropped out. They said, well, she didn't file her paperwork correctly. I said, okay. I said, what's going to happen if she wins? They said, well, she can still drop out. I said, do you think somebody that dropped out didn't have to do a damn thing? If they win, you think they're going to drop out still? Well, yeah, she can still do that. Well, I tell you what happens. People do not do their research. And I went on to Secretary of State's office about this, about how about probably 90 to 95% of people just vote top of the ticket all the time. Out of 36 counties, she won 27 counties out of 36.
Yikes.
Dropped out because she was on top of the ticket. So that's my thing this year. In case something does happen, I want every single person in this entire district to know who the hell I am. I want them to know if they see my face, if they hear my name, to say, yes, I know him. I know what he's about, just in case this ever happens again. So far, like I said, there's 2 of us. The other gentleman, like I said, this will be the 3rd time he's ran, and no luck. So this is what I'm fighting for, to make sure I'm out there and get my name out there as much.
Do you have to ever wear hard hats at any of your lives?
Oh yeah, I do. I have 2 hard hats out in my truck and on my safety vest, because 90% of the places I go to, I'm on mining sites and stuff like that. So I have to wear my hard hats. And
so I haven't seen your marketing materials. Is that kind of how your look is in terms of your website and stuff?
No, not. I haven't put any of that stuff on there. I didn't want people to kind of say, well, that's fake, when it's not. Like,
I mean, I think you have to figure out a very kind of, subtle way to start blending that into your.
Yeah, and
it should be on your social media stuff, and you should do like things like when you're on a job site and you're talking to somebody about like that you're running, like have it at job sites. You have to trust me. Just talking like a Democrat is not a winning strategy.
Exactly.
Not for 22. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But again, I'm not going to let you off this hook, but it should be on your website. It should be do you have Instagram and
yes.
Facebook? So all that, blend it in. Don't make it look obvious. You know what I mean? And I'm happy to like eyeball anything, because I'm like opinionated and I'm always right, as you know. So, but I really want to make sure that the people that I want to help move the needle to like getting in the position that we need to have you guys be in, they're just doing the best things that's very organic to who they are.
Yeah.
Ask, are you familiar? I'm sure you must know Jess Piper, who's running in the.
Yep. Really good friends with her. Actually, it was awesome, because here a couple weeks ago, she actually had her actual announcement of her running, and they asked me to come over and announce her. So I had to actually,
yeah, she's awesome.
Privilege of driving across the state and actually announcing her to the public. So it was great.
Yeah, she's awesome. I already interviewed her. But that's the kind of thing I wouldn't say, girl, go over and put on a hard hat and go, no, but she was a teacher. Should she stick her puss in front of the school? Absolutely.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And it's those kind of, because people know what they see. It's very, and we're obviously marketing to people that are asleep, because if they're still trumping around, they're either asleep or like brain dead. But what are they?
Exactly. And I'm going to start, like you said, my plan was to start kind of filtering that in, since I'm on job. And it's nice now that I'm starting to actually get back on job sites, because last year I couldn't go to any job sites whatsoever. And it sucked for a person like me. That's my job. My job's to be on a job site at all times. Well, last year you couldn't do any of that. So this year I'm finally starting to get back on job sites. And if you see it in my pictures, I wear blue jeans, and I wear my shirts, and I usually wear my hat all the time. And I always have, like right now, I'm wearing steel toe boots right now, because that's my job. But I'm start going to some of these factories, like you said, and when we're going out looking at projects, I'm going to see if somebody there, one of the workers, can take a couple pictures of me while I'm there.
You have to do that and build just get as many of those pictures, at least part of your library, and then you dole them out, because you have a year, you know what I mean? But that's it. And also try to get as many sound bites, just talking to people. That's going to be your, organic kind of homespunny kind of marketing that I really think is going to be very effective,
Yeah.
It's not like you're here in LA and you have to look like you just popped off a movie set. You have to be you, which I'm sure you can easily be.
Mhm.
But you have to capture that. That's going to be the trick. Can you capture that and to make it feel like it's just easy breezy? And I'm
Yeah.
sure you stage some of them with your friends and family.
Mhm. Mhm.
Oh, that's his cousin, so that doesn't, you know.
What's good is a lot of the unions have started contacting me. There's a gentleman from the UAW. He used to be the president of UAW in St. Louis, or Wentzville, I should say. He's behind me 100%. He keeps putting videos on TikTok and Instagram and Facebook about me. And then I had several unions on the other side of the state getting behind me now too. I have plans to go over and start meeting with some of the unions over there and some of the commissioners, and starting like Quentin Lucas, which is the mayor of Casey. I'm going to go meet with him. Going to make it kind of like a 2 or 3 day thing so I can get as many meet and greets as possible and the name out and start spreading the word, because I want as many of those unions behind me as well. And especially with my job, that's my job. I work with unions day in and day out. Then again, where I live, it's all rural, so a lot of farmers. So there's a lot of farmers all around this entire district. And what's nice is last year I won my entire side of the state, which is bright red. I won my entire side of the state because of the farmers. And as long as I can make sure to get that message out, what I'm trying to do for them too, I don't need to turn this district blue, but I can turn it purple, is what I've been telling people.
Right.
Well, that's what matters. If I can turn.
I like that idea. And you will, if you just kind of, maybe you should just do an ad where it's just a construction boot and go like, I'm going to kick ass. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, there you go.
Just a joke.
I tell Melissa all the time, I said, I got these steel toes, I'm going to start kicking people in the ass. That's why.
No, I think that you are like a really solid candidate considering what America needs. The age group, business you're in, the area you're from. It just, it feels right. You have family helping you. You have what kind of support team currently do you have?
Well, I tell you what, what's nice is my fiance, she's helped me 100%. My parents are helping me. Her parents are helping me. My daughter, I tell you, I call her my little one all the time. She's 13 years old. But I tell you, she helps me tremendously too. So my entire family's behind me 100%.
Wait, the 13-year-old is a daughter?
Yes. Yep. So she's 13. She's grown up way too fast. But I tell you, she's been, every time I've been going across the state, especially this summer, she's went with me everywhere because she loves doing this and she loves getting out there and seeing people too. But then what's nice is I have people from clear across the state getting behind me and going out and door knocking and getting out information, or forwarding my emails or forwarding my Facebook videos. So people are really starting to get behind me.
Be good.
Okay, you too. Have a good one, buddy.
Thank you. Happy holidays.